there are some countries where the original Pokemon games are labeled adult only.
What I am nerding out about is a game that Joe will never play. And for various reasons. The first one, maybe not so much, because his dad did raise him in the horror genre. But it's at its heart, it is a gambling game. On the surface, it's a gambling game. So it's a slot machine. And just like any slot machine, you put in coins, pull the thing, win some money. Okay. And you also get tickets. The tickets get little charms and little boosters that make you more lucky or do more things. So that's the surface. At its core, what it is a roguelike strategy game that's right up there with Balatro and Slay the Spire, where it's going to be randomly generated runs, and the luck of the draw is the luck of the draw. So to make it more interesting, you're in a Saw-like scenario where you're literally in this tiny, nasty room where you're facing the jackpot, and then you have a desk and some shelves, and that's where all your knickknacks go to boost everything. You turn to the left and right, you see the patterns, what they are worth. Like 3 in a row, 4 in a row, all this stuff. On the left, you see what all the things, the symbols are worth and their percentage of rolling. Then you have like an ATM machine, except you don't get money out necessarily, although it does pay you interest for everything you've put into it. You put in the coins there because it's a challenge. And the first challenge is like 75 coins. And when you start, you don't have anything unlocked. So there's no real bonuses. There's not really anything going on. You die a lot.
I assume there's some skill to it. It's not all random.
Yes.
Because I Googled it real quick because I've never seen it. And
it's fairly new.
All of the pictures were showing the slot machine, which is purely random. And so I assume there's some kind of skill involved as well.
Yes. And we'll get to that. So if you don't make the challenge, they're like, okay, I guess you die. And it shakes. It does all this stuff to try to give you anxiety. I don't get anxiety because it's just a game. But if you're into that kind of thing, it could mess with you a little bit. And then the floor drops out from underneath you. And that's it. You died. And then you wake up again, same room, starting over. But usually you've unlocked something here or there.
Groundhog's Day death trap version.
Kind of, yeah. The skill is putting together the right symbols and kind of coming up with strategy. And again, there's only so much strategy because it is a pure luck system. So you can grab some things that'll boost your luck. Sometimes they boost it in a turn. So there's a button you can hit that'll activate charm. And a lot of times it's like for one turn, boost it by 7 luck or whatever. And then there's a battery charge on that. So after it does this one thing, you have to go so many more rounds. And that's however, if the battery is just 1, it resets every time after every round. But if it's like 2 or 3, you got to go 2 rounds, 3 rounds for it to recharge, so on and so forth. And then you just keep unlocking. There's like 180 something. It's like the Pokemon of hell gambling. It's like, it's got so many things to unlock. And so you just have different strategies with how different things work together. You only have 7 spots for the charms, but you can buy stuff that gives you more spots. There's a key on the wall, and now I know it's probably set levels, but I haven't gone and looked. I just play through it like it's the story part of the game. It's like, I haven't decided when I'm going to give you this. And then after you get through 3 rounds the first time, it gives you make $1 million or whatever, and you can have the key. And it doesn't go to the door to let you out. It opens up a drawer. And so you can put, if you have 7 items and another one, you can put one of your items in the drawer and save it. But then you can't keep hitting milestones to get the next key and the next key. So then you get 4 drawers open, and then it gets weird. So
and then it gets weird.
Yeah.
It hadn't been weird the whole time. Then it gets weird.
So when you get to level 3, you have the odds of 3 6s coming up in a row. And when they do, you lose your money. And the further you go in the game, the more money you lose. And I mean, you got to hit like
devil's numbers.
Million. Yeah. You got to hit millions of dollars at some levels. And when that comes up and it loses everything, it's so infuriating. Then they have, so when I say you unlock the drawers, then cadaver bones start showing up randomly. And don't compare Pokemon to horrible gambling game. All right, Bob, so, whatever.
Real quick, there are some countries where the original Pokemon games are labeled adult only because in the original ones there is a gambling game center, and so just by the fact that there's gambling in it, it's marked as adult only, those original games.
And honestly, Bob's fair enough. It's a joke, dude. Learn to laugh a little. Live, laugh, coffee. Come on, man. All right. There's some so you get these 4 bones, and then you unlock this. If you attach one of them, then you unlock all of them in the skull. So you have to buy the skull. But what the bonus is, they give you 5% more debt. So the challenges have 5% more on them to get to the next one. So now you're up to 20%. The skull itself adds another 5. So you've added 25% more debt, but for every bone that you have attached, the skull will put a new charm into the drawers after every round. So you get 4 new charms for free, but it's it's strategy, right? You're trying to figure out how to get through it. Then there's these
debt to charm ratio.
And there's some not for the pure of heart symbology in this thing. There's it doesn't bother me, because to me none of the symbology doesn't mean anything. I don't care, but I understand, and there's some people like, I mean, just the fact that 3 6s take away your money would be enough to run people off, and that's fair. That's one of the reasons why Joe will never. I mean, I don't think, Joe, you're a gambler, so you wouldn't really like that mechanic. You definitely wouldn't like
my mom would roll in her grave if she saw me play. But so early 2000s, the World Series of Poker was really big on ESPN2, I think, but regardless, and I'm a math guy, and so I watched it, and it would show the different percentages, and I'm like, okay,
I can see you loving that.
Yeah. And so I loved it from a mathematical statistical standpoint, and seeing how the people would interact. My mom hated that I watched it. She hated it with a passion.
Yeah. Well, she would absolutely hate this. It's not just gambling.
It's the devil.
The devil is not a lie in this game. There's some devil symbology, but there's this phone on the wall. There's a big red phone. And the first time, see, it's a trick. The cake is a lie. The first time it rings, it's just like, hey, here's some cool things that'll help you. And it's a strategy for what you pick. If you pick certain things, it'll help boost how many times this charm shows up. And you can actually, with the right build, the right stuff that you buy with tickets or you put on the phone, you can really maximize one thing and make it worth a ton and drop the ratios on everything else where they don't show up as much. So you're just constantly hitting bigger pulls, right? Where was I going with that? So so the phone. But so then the second call you get, I didn't pick up on the color change. I picked up on it. Cost me something. Everything in this game seems to cost you something. But I realized later they were their soul, more or less. I don't know. I keep dropping.
It costs you the
floor. It costs you the floor. Yeah. But there was things I could pick. It's like, hey, double your coins and set your tickets to 0. Okay, well that's an interesting cost, because both of those are valuable in the game. There's other things that'll put devious trait, which makes the 6s show up more. But if you ignore it, no, there's a little floppy disk. And I mean, like the original, how I used to play Doom on shareware, 3.5 floppy disk sitting next to the machine. And it has 3 6s on it. Well, if you skip, the second phone call has red letters and has all this extra cost. Whereas the other ones are orange letters, and they just give you something. They don't cost you anything. If you skip what's called the devil calls, if you do that 3 times and then get 6s again, it becomes a saint phone. It turns white, and now you're getting sanctified things that will boost. But it's so hard to get to the sanctified one, because you have to get to round 3 before you can get a devil's phone call for the first time. Then you got to skip 3 of them and get another round to get the sanctified phone. So surviving that, and they're not automatic. If you don't
splash a little holy water on the phone, it'll be good.
Dude, this whole room could use some holy water. It's think Duke Nukem bathrooms, but worse.
Oh man.
Now, one of the things I do like about it is how they tie in some things together. It's gross but fun. There's a toilet in the room. You can literally take a leak, take a dump, or do nothing with it. And if you do want each of one of those things, if you take a leak, you get the jar of yellow. And that's a charm. And that will make all the yellow symbols repeat again, which is a very valuable thing. If you take
the valuable pee.
Yeah, it's so dumb. But if you take a dump, you get the jar of brown, which will make the non-yellow symbols repeat. No, it's so dumb. And then as you get, I mean, just there's percentages on everything. There's horseshoes. It's a blast for me because it's that roguelike. So when you die, you lost all progress, and it starts over brand new the next time. So it's a whole different set of random charms starting off with, and so on and so forth. They have seeds just like any of these other games. So you could, if I like that particular run, I could reseed it and go again. Then still don't know why they call them memory packs, but if you get to a certain point where you're making enough money that if you clear a level and then you automatically have the money to clear the next level, it'll give you a deal. So you won't make any more money or tickets if you take the deal, but you get these memory packs, which then changes how you play the game. So you load a memory like your first love, and it gives you like more money to start with, but you won't earn as much interest or something like that. There's always a bargain with these memories. So anyway, it's an indie game on Steam and iOS. I'm playing it on my phone. It was $4 on my phone, $4.99, something like that. My daughter had gotten it on Steam, and so it's on my computer. So I decided to try it there. It's if you like Balatro, and if you like Slay the Spire,
and
if
the
you
devil.
can, I was about to say, if you can look past the devil stuff, then it's for you. And honestly, truthfully, it's their gimmick, right? It's their little thing of, oh, well, it's you're trapped. I don't know if it's supposed to be hell. I don't know if it's your soul. There's a key that I can't quite get to unlock yet because I've gotten to the $6 million part again, and it's still giving me question marks on what I'm going to have to get to open the key. Presumably that key opens the door. So I've not opened the door. And then there's the other ending is the sanctified phone where you just basically you break the game and you they have it to where it's exponentials. So it's like 1.2x whatever number,
1.21 gigawatts.
Yeah. It just keeps going up and up. So yeah. And so it's got that grind factor to it that you can just keep playing, and then you can change it. So it's a lot of it scratches that dopamine itch of, oh, what did I unlock this time? Or how do I unlock this? One of us, you have to score modified, because one of the symbols is a lemon. You have to score modified lemons 100 times. And that's a lot harder than it sounds.
That's a lot of lemons.
It's a lot more lemons you think. So yeah, it's got me hooked, and I think, but I'm not entirely sure, but I think I can play it offline. But it definitely falls into the niche gaming category, and the roguelikes, is there a name for something that's just randomly generated, that style of game, like Balatro and Slay the Spire?
Procedurally generated, maybe.
But they've got to come up with a genre. There's more and more games coming out like that. They need to come up with a genre where you're not going to play the same game twice, no matter how you cut it. That needs to be a genre. So, but that's what I'm nerding out about. I'll go and roll the dice. And I'll throw you a bonus one. Slay the Spire 2 is about to enter beta. I think it's going on beta sale, early access sale this weekend. But it's only on Steam, so I don't know if I'm going to buy it because I don't play out here that much.